welcome to final week 11.
Final week 11.
Football season, high school football season, regular seasons come to an end. Next week, start with playoffs. But before we get started on this, we'd like to talk to you just a little bit about some of our sponsors. Number one, we just finished eating a little bit.
Yeah, Domino's been very, very good to us, and has my favorite, and I think it's become all of everybody here
Seem to
favorite.
be eating it.
Yes,
it
which
goes
is
in a
the
hurry.
extravaganza, or what we call the dunkling special.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Okay. Also, Bill Smith, Buick GMC up here in Cullman, Alabama, on the north end of town. Have some great bargains, and they're just beginning to get in 2020s. And guess what they want to do with those 2019s?
They want to let them go.
They want to let them go. You need to go up there and check on some of those deals, see if you can't get into a new Buick or GMC. And then we have Target Pest Control. Seems to be not necessarily the time of the year people are thinking about pest control, but it would be a good idea to make certain that you get termite inspections. And
Yep.
You don't want those underground, and those bugs want to come in. It's getting hot,
It's
cold
getting
out
cold,
there.
getting
I
cold.
think I noticed that tonight. So anyway, Target Pest Control, we appreciate them. And then Citizens Bank and Trust. I bet I used that debit card 3 times today. And before I started my Salsa checking account over there, which gives me 3% return on my first $15,000, I never used a debit card. And I said, well, I won't use a debit card, but I was wrong. I use it all the time. It's very good. Fast foods, grocery stores, gas stations, anywhere you want to use it. All right, but we appreciate them. All right, air times. Tonight, of course, Saturday at 1 p.m. and 5 p.m., Sunday at 12 p.m. and 2 p.m., Wednesday at 7 p.m. and Thursday at 9 p.m. May have to put on my glasses. That's on channel 16, online, WCQT TV 27, Facebook and YouTube.
And YouTube.
All right, we'll be right back after this quick message from our sponsors with some more scores.
With your Citizens Bank and Trust digital wallet, your busy life just got a lot less complicated. As a community bank, we know our customers. They're our neighbors and friends, and we know your banking needs. It's easy to use. Simply hold your phone up to the terminal at checkout. It's right there when you need it. No more searching for your cards. Citizens Bank and Trust. Small bank, big difference. Member FDIC. Third-party fees for data, messaging, and internet may apply.
Of the many forces of nature that threaten our homes, one of the most menacing strikes without warning. Sound or fury. They're termites, and they cause billions in damage homeowners insurance won't cover. Fortunately, Termador protects before termites become a problem. Because there's no forecasting when termites will strike.
Call Target Pest Control for a free termite inspection of your home. We aim to please.
First 6-function multi-pro tailgate, available only on the next generation GMC Sierra.
All right, we're back on the air now, and we're going to give you a few Cullman County scores and talk with Coach Elliott and show a little bit of Vinemont Cold Springs here in just a little bit. But those Cullman County scores you got there are what?
I got, of course, Coach Elliott and the Eagles from Cold Springs, big winners tonight, 28-8 over the other Eagles from Vinemont. Got Fairview winners on the road at Holly Pond, 35-8. Good Hope winners on the road at Hanceville, 28-18. And the Warriors from West Point fall to the Devils from Cordova, 21-7.
Okay. All right, Coach, we're going to be showing a little bit of film, and you've got several younger kids, not seniors, that are really becoming a part of that team, a big part of that team right now. Will you, what are your thoughts on your younger kids?
Well, a lot of them kids played as ninth graders, and they're 10th and 11th graders now. So they played some varsity football. They're younger in their grade, but they had to play a little bit earlier than most kids had to play. So they may not be as young as you think.
Yeah, as far as players, they're experienced anyway. Now, some of the film that we see here show a lot of Aiden Alexander. He had several big runs for you, big plays.
Yeah, Aiden's had a really good year this year. He's got somewhere over 1,500 yards rushing in 10 games, and I don't know for sure how much he has. I haven't added this week's stats up, but Aiden's had a really good year, and he's a really good runner. He's got really good vision, and really understands how to run football.
Okay. And we just saw some of the things that I know you're going to make certain don't happen next week. A bad snap over the quarterback's head that puts you in trouble there. But then he turns around here, and in a little bit, Brody Williams, your quarterback, number 7, makes a pretty good run there for first down. And then you see Aiden Alexander again stretching the ball into the end zone for a score.
Yeah. Like I said, Aiden had a good night. And, Brody, I thought Brody had a pretty good night too. He made, he got himself out of a little trouble every once in a while, and made a couple of pretty nice throws, even on the run, and got himself out of trouble. So, I thought we played okay offensively. I just thought we made a lot of mistakes that kept us from scoring a lot of points tonight.
Okay. And I've noticed you wide receivers do a pretty good job of blocking as well. There's a Lawson Burgess catching a pass out there, but what I see when I'm seeing Alexander running the football is some wide receivers out there making good blocks.
Yeah, there is. I think they all block pretty well out there. Dylan Gable, he wears number 1. He's probably the best, and he's out in football for the first time as a senior. And he may be the best wide receiver blocker that I've ever had.
Well, he early on in the film took one out of his shoes. He unloaded out there. Looked good doing it. So you got some physical wide outs, and Coach, congratulations on the playoffs. I know you had said at the beginning of the season that was one of y'all's big goals, is to get back in the mix, and y'all managed to do that.
Yeah, we have. We were excited about it. Our year has had some ups and downs, and we actually feel like we probably let 3 to 4 games get away from us that we could have won. And to be quite honest with you, but that's part of life and part of football, and some nights it just don't bounce your way, and you just got to learn from it and move on. But we challenged our kids this week to play with the same kind of passion that they played with the night we played Allison, because we seem to have lost that passion somewhere down through there, and they certainly did tonight. I was really proud of the boys tonight and how much fun they had and how they played.
Well, the footage we saw looked very good.
Yeah.
But congratulations. Y'all have a safe trip down to Montgomery tomorrow. And we'll let you get off the phone so you can get to bed.
Yeah, well, when you coach football, on Friday nights, you're either too keyed up because you won, or you're too upset because you lost, and neither way you sleep.
It's hard
true.
to go.
That's
All
true.
Right. Well, good luck to you. We'll
Good
see
luck,
you
Coach.
later on, okay?
All right, thank y'all. We appreciate what y'all do.
Yes, sir.
Thanks, sir. Okay, Coach Elliott, Cold Springs. And now we're going to have a little bit of play it from the band of the week. Guess who?
Cold Springs Eagles.
All right, here we go.
Citizens Bank and Trust, your security is our top priority. Online statements eliminate the risk of your financial information getting lost in the mail. The statement can be viewed online at home or on the go, and you'll receive your statements faster each month. Plus, signing up is easy. At Citizens Bank and Trust, your security is our priority. Citizens Bank and Trust. Small bank, big difference. Member FDIC. Third-party fees for internet messaging and data may apply.
First six-function multi-pro tailgate, available only on the next generation GMC Sierra.
Of the many forces of nature that threaten our homes, one of the most menacing strikes without warning. Sound or fury. They're termites, and they cause billions in damage homeowners insurance won't cover. Fortunately, Termador protects before termites become a problem. Because there's no forecasting when termites will strike.
Call Target Pest Control for a free termite inspection of your home. We aim to please.
All right, we're back now with Beyond the Scoreboard, and we're about to have a little bit of footage of the Fairview Holly Pond game. We're going to have Coach Redding on with us, and we'll talk with Coach Redding. Coach Redding, congratulations.
Sure. Thank you so much.
All right, we're looking at it right now, and your team is in white. If you people watching, Fairview's in white, Holly Pond's in their green, and it started out Holly Pond. They've done a lot of that dive play tonight against you, didn't they? Just straight.
Yeah, Coach, I missed it.
Yeah, they were running just that quick dive with their fullback, just right in between the guard and they had a lot of early success doing that.
They did, and actually that was a new wrinkle for them. And I felt like they did a really good job with the adjustment. I think, but I was very proud. Our defensive staff did a good job of making some adjustments in the first half. Where they would motion that guy up into more like a sniffer back, and they would catch us on a little ISO. But we were able to make some adjustments. Our defensive end helped us fill that play and make it bounce, and we were able to catch it for a couple of losses later.
Well, I thought Parker Martin looked more like a college quarterback. There were a few zips that he threw in there that sort of a little cooler tonight. Actually, it was cold. And it was a little tough for your receivers to hold on to some of those till they warmed up.
Yeah, there was a couple of them that come out really, really hot, and he's got a cannon, and sometimes he has to take a little bit off of it, but I felt like he did well. I think he finished 16 for 20 for a little over 200-something yards, and so I felt like he managed the passing game well tonight.
Well, Tyvin Ellis had 2 or 3 really. Your running backs looked extremely quick considering the dampness, the softness of the turf.
Yeah, and I thought so too. I think I told Coach Bates, as much rain as we all had the 2 days leading up to it, they did an outstanding job on the field to get it to look as good as it did. And, but the more you ran on it, you could tell the water was coming up to the surface. And we had lost our footing. Both teams did. We lost our footing a few times, and where I felt like we could have made some vertical cuts and really got some yards, but slipped down and just, it wasn't as secure, but I think our running backs did a good job under the circumstances.
Well, as the season has gone on, of course, Tyvin Ellis has started the season, and you knew he was going to be a load. You was going to use him quite a bit, but did you know you was going to use Tyler Simmons as much as you have lately?
Tyler has been phenomenal for us. I mean, he just come in and has really just bought into to what we need and everything we've asked. He's had to do a ton of learning, and I think he has really done a good job of managing that part.
just being able to come in, and he can do just about anything in our offense. He does a good job in the protection as well. And so I'll be honest, just having that two-headed monster there in the run game has been really good, just keeping a fresh back to where you get the second half late in the fourth quarter, and, man, you got a guy coming at you.
Yeah.
Well, Coach, congratulations on big win, but also on region champions. Being able to wear that region crown and getting ready to host a first-round playoff game.
Coach, I really do appreciate that. We really do. That was never, you got these goals of, you always want to be in the playoffs, and, man, you'd love to win a region championship, but that was never our main focus with this group. I mean, they just wanted to get better every week, but they had a goal to get back in the playoffs, and they just committed themselves. And, it's kind of one of them things where if you just keep focusing on you and just keep getting better every week, maybe good things will happen, and it is.
Well, good
All right,
deal.
Coach, how many first-round playoff games have you played at home?
One prior to this one. We were, this will be our third. We had finished second twice, I think, Coach. I'd have to look that up. I'm kind of getting that point now where I don't remember things as well.
Yeah, I understand.
I want to say this might be our third time, because I think we won the first one. I think another year we lost in the first round at a home game. I think that was against Mumford, and then this time.
But this is your first region championship?
Yes, sir. I think there's been 3 other opportunities where we were there in the mix, and we outright played for it a couple times and just never got it done. So.
Well, you did this year. Congratulations,
Yes.
And we're going to let you off and let you get in the bed and hopefully be able to be awake for the whole drive down to Montgomery and back.
You know what, Coach? It's one of them deals where I'm not a big fan of that Montgomery trip, but I can't wait to go tomorrow.
I understand.
Hey, it'd be one of the best donuts you've eaten, won't it? Those donuts that they have for you.
Yes, sir.
Well, congratulations, Coach. And like I said, we're going to let you go now, and good luck to you next week.
Thanks, guys. We appreciate y'all.
Okay. All right, that was Coach Redding, Fairview. Now we're going to take a quick commercial break, and we'll come back with a little bit more action from the county this week.
First 6-function multi-pro tailgate, available only on the next generation GMC Sierra.
Of the many forces of nature that threaten our homes, one of the most menacing strikes without warning. Sound or fury. They're termites, and they cause billions in damage homeowners insurance won't cover. Fortunately, Termador protects before termites become a problem. Because there's no forecasting when termites will strike.
Call Target Pest Control for a free termite inspection of your home. We aim to please.
With your Citizens Bank and Trust digital wallet, your busy life just got a lot less complicated. As a community bank, we know our customers. They're our neighbors and friends, and we know your banking needs. It's easy to use. Simply hold your phone up to the terminal at checkout. It's right there when you need it. No more searching for your card. Citizens Bank and Trust. Small bank, big difference. Member FDIC. Third-party fees for data, messaging, and internet may apply.
All right, welcome back. Now we got a little bit of footage we're going to show you now of the Good Hope Hanceville ball game tonight down at Hanceville. Well contested, and we're going to have Coach Scott on the air with us tonight. So congratulations, Coach Scott. Any rivalry game is a big win.
Yes, sir. It was definitely a tough game. I thought Hanceville played very well.
and hats off to Coach McCain and what he's doing there. They've got a lot of young talent, so they played well tonight, and our guys were able to, come out on top, which proud of our guys. Great season so far, and just tickled to death with how they finished it.
Well, talking about young talent, number 11, I think, is a sophomore, right?
Yes, sir.
Tanner Malin.
Yes, sir. Yeah, we've got a few young guys out there too. I think graduation last year we lost 22 seniors, so there was lots of spots available to try to move in, and so our guys have come in this year and done a fantastic job. And
Colton Bagwell, Jr., correct?
Yes, sir.
All right, and he's sort of carries the load, doesn't he? Well, he's a load when he carries it.
Yeah, he's a load when he carries it.
Yes, sir. So he's a big kid, great young man, great leader for our team. So I'm proud of him.
Okay. Tonight, there were several mistakes on both sides of football, but I can understand that a little bit. It was wet down there, cold.
First really cold night. Yeah.
Yeah, first cold night we've really had this year.
Mm-hmm.
It's definitely a big temperature drop from yesterday morning. But we were a little bit sloppy at times and kind of shot ourselves in the foot. But that's going to happen, and you just got to kind of bear down and overcome.
Well, you were also playing a team though that playing a county rival, next door neighbors, and they gave, I thought, a great effort and made some big plays.
Yeah, they're the Joel's kid at quarterback tonight, and Malcolm and Campbell, the really good players. Guthrie, they got a lot of talent, like I said, and they made some plays. But I think they might have put up 40-something points last week, and put up over around 50 against Curry, which is a region opponent. So we knew they could put points up. We just we had more at the end of the night, so that was kind of what matters.
Yes, sir. And hey, great job by you and your staff and your kids. Losing that many seniors a year ago, and a lot of teams would struggle coming back, but you guys have found a way to get right back into the playoffs. Won 8 games, so been a tremendous year for you, your staff, your kids, and the community.
Well, I appreciate it. Yeah, I'm proud of them. My coaching staff, second to none. Everybody that's involved with the program has bought in a little bit right now, so we've just got to shore up some things and fix some things before we play Aniana next week. They're a great team.
Who's going to be driving in the morning?
That's me.
Okay. Well, I guess we better let you get off the phone and go to bed, get a little sleep here.
We enjoy your donut. They still give you donuts down there, Coach?
They got a few snacks here and there. Yeah,
okay.
We try to get in there and get some.
All right.
All right, well, good luck to you next week. And you're right, it's going to be a challenge going to Aniana. And, they have a really good history down there. But, I think I saw Susan Moore beat them last week, didn't they?
They did.
So they're beatable. So good luck to you. And, just have your kids ready. And y'all got a great chance.
Well, thank y'all. Appreciate everything y'all do.
Yes,
well,
sir.
Thank you. Appreciate you being with us. All right, that was Coach Scott from Good Hope, and they had a big win tonight against county rival Hansville. Both of those are young football teams coming up. But we've got some other fairly young folks that we're going to be looking at right now. We're calling the unsung heroes, and the ones that we're talking about, they're going to be in competition tomorrow.
Yeah, I was fixing to put a plug in for that. I don't know if it's the first ever or if it's been a long time since they've done it, but it's the first one done since I've been here. The Cullman County cheer competition tomorrow at Good Hope, 9 o'clock.
Okay. Well, here are the
Cold Springs
Eagles cheerleaders.
No, these young ladies, a lot of folks don't know the work that they put in, but they put in a lot of work.
Year round.
Round.
Yeah. Year round. They cheer for several sports at most schools as well. So, that's a lot of time that they put into it.
A lot of practice during the summer, camp during the summers. And some have their competition squad. Here we got Holly Pond Wasn't able to get all the squads tonight, but we got several of them. But they're just representative of all the squads at our 7 schools in the county, and of course Cullman City up the road.
And this is Hansville. That was Hansville in that previous one too, but this is Hansville getting starting the second half. Good Hope game, and they were ready to go. But we appreciate the cheerleaders and all the work they put into it, and they're sponsors as well.
Yes.
You know, it's not the highest paying job in school, but as far as monetarily, but it is a high paying job for those ladies who work as cheerleader sponsors, because they get an opportunity to teach kids not only the cheering and stuff, but also character building.
Yes.
And they do a great job with that. But we appreciate our cheerleader sponsors, our cheerleaders. And right now we're going to go to another break, and we'll come back with some region records, scores, and standings.
Of the many forces of nature that threaten our homes, one of the most menacing strikes without warning. Sound or fury. They're termites, and they cause billions in damage homeowners insurance won't cover. Fortunately, Termador protects before termites become a problem, because there's no forecasting when termites will strike.
Call Target Pest Control for a free termite inspection of your home. We aim to please.
Six-function multi-pro tailgate, available only on the next generation GMC Sierra.
At Citizens Bank and Trust, your security is our top priority. Online statements eliminate the risk of your financial information getting lost in the mail. The statement can be viewed online at home or on the go, and you'll receive your statements faster each month. Plus, signing up is easy. At Citizens Bank and Trust, your security is our priority. Citizens Bank and Trust. Small bank, big difference. Member FDIC. Third-party fees for internet messaging and data may apply.
Who else you need?
5A likes a lot. Okay.
I got them all.
We are back now with Beyond the Scoreboard. We've got some region scores to go over in each of those classifications. So if you would run over those right quick.
All right, 2A Region 5, Aliceville big winners over Greene County on the road 50-28. Of course, Aliceville, number 1 team in that region, going to host the first round playoff game next week. Got Cold Springs big winners. You saw that earlier tonight at home against Vinemont 28-8. Southeastern on the road at Asbury, come up big winners 53-14. Sulligent, not necessarily the way you want to go into the playoffs, but they play a tough South Lamar team, and they fall 40-7 on the road. You got Victory Christian, big winners over Summerton Christian, 28-16. Fultondale over Tarrant, 43-0, and in overtime, and I want to say it was 2 overtimes, you got Lynn over Winston County, 26-20.
Big rivalry there, too.
And 2A Region 7, we'll come back to some playoff matchups here in a little bit. 2A Region 7, Addison's sitting idle this week with a bye. Colbert County falling hard to Lauderdale County on the road, 55-7. I didn't see that one coming.
I didn't see it either, but, you never know. And they've got a tough game next week. Got to go to Collinsville, I believe. But we'll get into that.
They'll be on the road at Collinsville. But, you step up classification, play Lauderdale County, and it's on the road, and, come up short. Hatton closing out the season with a win, 26-20 over Clements. Red Bay, perfect on the season, 39-14 over Wilson.
They seem to be just getting better.
And they're one of the top 10 teams in 2A that over the past decade record-wise. They're one of the top 10. It's kind of interesting to look at that today. You got Sheffield big over Cherokee 50-6. Tanner falling to East Limestone on the road 57-13, and Tharptown closing out the season with a win 13-0 over, is it Vina or Vina?
Vina.
30A Region 5. Got Fultondale over Tarrant. We gave you that score earlier. Fultondale, the winners of that region. Hanceville in a close one at home against Good Hope, 28-18. Holly Pond Fairview, big rival game. Field conditions played a part, I think, in that. And Fairview comes out on top, 35-8. Pennington, JB Pennington keeps it close at Aniana. Aniana 21, JB Pennington 7. And I know last week we saw where, I believe it was, or a few weeks ago, we saw where Susan Moore had beaten Aniana, but Susan Moore 10-0 on the season right now, having one of their better years.
Yep.
Locust Fork with a bye this week, prior to hosting a first-round playoff game next week. Did not get a score on Midfield Woodlawn, and we gave you the Vinemont Cold Springs score. So that's 3A Region 5. We'll come back and talk a little bit about playoffs in a minute. 4A Region 5. Cordova's put together a good second half of the season.
They finished strong, but had a little bit of a tough time getting started.
Finished 500-5-5. Winners night over West Point, 21-7. Curry just not able to get things going this year. Several ball games that were close, just like tonight on the road at Carbon Hill. They come up a little bit short, 21-20. Fayette County, big winners over Dora, 27-7. Gave you the Good Hope score. Haleyville falls to Hamilton tonight, 28-14. Those two fairly close to one another, familiar with one another, and continuing to play each other. Northside over Sipsey Valley, 32-0. Of course, Oak Grove ended their season last week, and this week would have been a bye week for them. But they're done for the year. 4A Region 7, Danville had a bye week before going on the road next week to Deschler. DAR big winners over Brindley Mountain, 43-8. North Jackson falls to Arab, 56-26. Priceville gets back in the win column as they defeat Brewer 20-16. Randolph,
that would have been a really good big win for Priceville. They used to be a theater school for Brewer. So, they went back to a high school about 5 to 10 years ago, and, they developed
a little bit of a rivalry there, yeah. So Randolph, big winners over Columbia, 44-16. And St. John Paul II, 47, Douglas 7. West Morgan is finished for the year as they finished up last week, and this week would have been a bye for them. 5A Region 7, Corner in 2 overtimes over Oakman, 29-28. A little bit of surprise there. As Oakman, I think, 2A?
2 or 3, but they're in the south. They're in the southern region. But, that's... they just have to develop those regions based on how many schools are in each size.
You got Dora. I gave you that score. Fayette County 27-7. Hayden finished for the year. Jasper, big winners over a good Deschler team as Jasper finished season unblemished. They defeat Deschler tonight 35-17. Lawrence County 41. Rogers 20. Russellville 27. Central Florence. That'll be who Fairview plays next week, Central Florence, and Russellville upends them tonight 27-8. 6A Region 7, Austin played last night. Big winners over Athens, 38-16. Columbia falls to Randolph, 44-14. Cullman, a bye week before they take on May Jemison next week in first round. You got Sparkman upending Decatur, 21-14.
That is a lot closer than I would have anticipated. Decatur has struggled. What was their final record season?
For the season, 2-8.
2-8. and they played Sparkman, who is a 7A, and I think they're going to be hosting a game.
They're
next
hosting
week.
a first round
I think
playoff
they were
game.
second in their region. So that was sort of unpredictable.
And, you know, one of Decatur's wins, of course, you don't take any wins for granted.
No.
But one of them came against Columbia, who
Yeah.
has yet to win a game this year.
Or score. Have they scored this
Yeah,
year?
they scored a few times.
Okay.
But have struggled throughout the year.
Yes, they have.
And, of course, Muscle Shoals, the winner of that particular region, bye week this week before they play host to Albertville next week.
Okay. All right.
Talk a little bit about playoffs.
Yes. We are going to go over some of the playoff games. We won't get them all, but we'll get most of them.
And a lot of tiebreakers had to be gone through tonight, but they finally got everything posted on the AHSAA website. You can scroll down once you go to that web page and click on first round pairings, and they have all those pairings available for any of you that might be interested in seeing all the pairings statewide.
Mm-hmm. All right. Let's look in 1A first
Okay.
of all. We'll just start at 1A.
Okay.
And we don't have all 1A. They still had a lot of regions to be determined, but the only one that has a local team in it was Faultville will be going to Waterloo.
Yeah, Faultville will be going to
Faultville
Waterloo.
at Waterloo, and I'd say Faultville stands a really good chance of
Faultville
being able to win that one.
Faultville on the road, of course. They're that number 3 out of Region 7, going to Waterloo. Faultville 5-4 on the season. Waterloo sitting there at 7-2. But whenever you have a 2 play a 3, there's not a lot, not really, sometimes a whole lot of difference.
No, not much. And one other thing, we'd like to tell you what night they're going to play, but we can't do that because it will not be determined until tomorrow when they have their meetings. And both schools have to get permission from Alabama High School Athletic Association to play it on Thursday if they decide to do so.
That's right. That's right.
All right. In 2A, we'll talk about some of the region that we know, like Addison. Addison, they won their region. They finished second in their region. They will play host to the number 3 region team, North Sand Mountain.
Mm-hmm.
So they'll be coming down to Addison. Aliceville, which is in the Cold Springs region, they won their region, will play host to Westbrook Christian. And then those two winners will play each other the next week. All right, going down in the next bracket, Ohatchee plays Southeastern. So the Ohatchee will host Southeastern, and Colbert County will be going to Collinsville. And then the winner of those two will meet the next week.
And then the way the home team is determined if both of you travel, then it falls to where you are in the bracket. And I think this year, if you come out of the top of the bracket, you'll be the host team in the second round. I think that's right.
Yeah, or who has traveled
or
the most.
Yes, but if both have traveled, it falls to the bracket.
All right. Now, down a little farther, Fife, who I think they're the 2 or 3-time defending champion. They have won several state championships in the last few years. But Fife will be playing Sheffield. They'll host Sheffield. Ranburn will host Cold Springs. So Cold Springs, you need a good following. So if y'all people are Cold Springs fans, try to get out there and go support them at Ranburn. That's a pretty good little trip.
I mean, playoffs are not to be taken for granted. It's only half teams make the playoffs.
But anyway, the 5 Sheffield, Ranburn, Cold Springs winners will meet the next week. Then we have Red Bay and Cedar Bluff. Red Bay's undefeated, you said.
Undefeated.
Cedar Bluff's going to Red Bay. And then Cleveland is going to Sulligent. And then, we have Cleveland people here fairly close as well.
Yes,
but anyway, those 2 winners will meet the next week. But that's our 2A bracket. In 3A, the ones that we have around here, we have B.B. Comer going to Fultondale, who won, the region that our county schools are in. Clements and Geraldine. And then we have J.B. Pennington going to Piedmont, and Piedmont has won 2 or 3 state championships in the last few years. Sylvania to Lauderdale County, Pisgah to Westminster Christian, Midfield will go to Randolph County. Colbert Heights to Susan Moore, and Walter Welborn will go to Locust Fork. We didn't linger on those quite as long because no county schools are involved in the playoffs in 3A. All right, in 4A, we do have some county schools involved. We'll have one, Good Hope, will be going to Aniana. And another fairly local school, Danville, which is not far from here, Danville will be going to Deschler. And those two winners will meet the next week. The Danville-Deschler winner against the Good Hope Aniana winner. And then we have Central of Florence is going to go to Fairview. Fairview's hosting that. Then Anniston goes to Fayette County. And the winner of those two games will meet the next week. So Good Hope and Fairview, actually, they'll have to each win twice to get to play each other in the playoffs.
Yeah.
But that's still a possibility. They can get to the quarterfinals.
It is.
Okay. So there's 4A. Now we go to 5A. On the 5A brackets, we have the ones that we know of from the local schools is Russellville will be going to Scottsboro, Centerpoint to Etowah, and then those two winners play. Gunnersville goes to Hamilton, Boaz to Mortimer Jordan, those two winners play. Corner goes to Madison County, Sylacauga to Alexandria, those two winners play. And then Madison Academy goes to Jasper, Sardis goes to Central Clay County. Those two then winners will play. And since there's no county schools in that, we'll flip on over to 6A. In 6A, we do have Cullman. Cullman is going to be going to May Jemison. And up on top of that bracket is Chelsea going to Oxford. So Cullman, May Jemison will play the winner. Will play the winner of Chelsea and Oxford. Then, at the top of that, Clay Chalkville is playing Helena. Buckhorn's playing Athens. Those two winners play. Then down in the bottom four, Hartselle, who, we have close enough to Hartselle, that's sort of a local team. They're going to Fort Payne, who Cullman beat last week.
Yes.
But so they'll have a good chance. But Hartselle's going to Fort Payne. Homewood's going to Pinson Valley. And the winners of those two will play in the second round. Albertville goes to Muscle Shoals. Gardendale goes to Minor. The winner of those two play in the second round. Okay, and then 7A, we don't have anybody big enough to be in 7A, but we have most of those down, but there's a couple that hadn't been decided yet, or hadn't been decided at that point. But down in the north section, James Clemens plays Vestavia Hills. Vestavia Hills goes to James Clemens. Sparkman goes to Hoover. So those two winners play the second round. Austin goes to Thompson. And Mountain Brook goes to Florence. Those two winners play in the second round, and that's your northern division. Okay? Any other comments on those things?
No, not that I think of. Just, if you're wondering whether or not if your team's involved in tiebreaker, you can go to that 2019 football playoffs first round pairings under Alabama High School Athletic Association, and you can get all the playoff pairings. Now, they're not in bracket format, but they do list them by classification and list them by region and who's the home and who's the away.
While we're talking about playoffs, championships and stuff, we did have two local teams that were in the volleyball state tournament, qualified for the Final Eight down in Birmingham. Fairview, they did get beat the first round, but they made it down there. That's good. And then Addison made it to the finals.
Yes.
But lost in the finals for the first time in 7 years. If they had won, it would have been their 7th straight volleyball state championship.
Wow.
So they did get beat, though, 3-1 and that cost them that. But, somebody told me, said, well, it's time to start another string. So I guess that's what they'll be working on.
That's what they'll work on starting from tryouts this spring through the summer into next year.
All right, if you don't mind, go back and give us the final records, season one-loss records for, the local schools.
All right, Cold Springs 5-5, 3-3 in region. Let's look down. Addison finished 8-2, 5-1 in region, and the team ahead of them, Red Bay, was 10-0, 6-0. So, both them right there.
Their two
neck
losses, one was to Red Bay and one was to Piedmont.
Piedmont, 1 of 3A power. I call them a powerhouse. Been a factor in the playoffs for quite some time now.
Yep.
And then of course Red Bay, traditionally one of the top 10 programs in 2A, along with Addison, who's listed in that as well. Hanceville finishes 3-7, 1-5. Holly Pond finishes 2-8, 2-4. JB Pennington, which is over in Blount County, 3-7, 2-4. Locust Fork, another Blount County school, 6-4, 4-2, and Vinemont, 3-7, 2-4.
I wanted to point out, JB Pennington really played well the latter half of the season, and they played a very competitive game against a good Aniana.
Yes.
Tonight. All right, go on to that.
Let's see, 4A Region 5. You got Good Hope finishes 8-2, 4-2 in region play, and I think that's all the ones that are close by now.
Well, now this is 2 years in a row. Good Hope has had outstanding.
Well, 11-2 last year, 8-2 this year.
So far, with opportunity to go farther,
and with a young football team.
Yep.
A young football team. Danville 5-5, 4-3 in region play. Fairview 8-2, 6-1 in region play. Their only loss coming to Priceville.
Okay.
And
they have had a really good year, probably a little unexpected because of the youth of their program.
Yes.
They were thinking maybe next year, but it came a year early, and I guess it means next year some people are going to be expecting big things. All right, go ahead.
All right, let's look in that 5A Region 7. You've got, several that's around, but the one from our county is West Point, finishes 4-6, 3-4. And then in 6A Region 7, you got Cullman, finishes 5-5, 3-2.
All right, those last two that you talked about, West Point, who are some of the standout teams in that region? They're going to be tough.
Let me just tell you that that region, you've got Russellville, who looked like they and Jasper were going to play for the title, but then you had Hamilton slip in and beat Russellville, and then you had Jasper just come in and completely blew Hamilton off the map as far as winning big, and then you had Corner, who had a surprisingly a great year, kind of seemingly come from nowhere. They've struggled the last 2 or 3 years, but this year 7-3, and 4-3. So a very competitive region, top to bottom.
And in Cullman's region,
you got 10-0
maybe not
Muscle
quite as
Shoals.
strong as they've been in the past, but Muscle Shoals still bringing the.
Yeah, and then you look at their outer region schedule. You played Mortimer Jordan, who's going to be in the playoffs. You played Jasper, who's sitting here at 10-0, and number 1 in Class 5A. So had a tough schedule, and maybe that'll pay dividends for them here in the playoffs.
Okay. All right, we got one other thing that we need to cover tonight, just to show how much you've improved as the year's gone by.
Woo!
All right. We have
SEC.
We talk about the SEC. All right, as we go down the games this week, Mississippi State is going to Fayetteville to play Arkansas.
Golly.
That should be a tough ball game.
Let's flip a coin on that one. I'm going to take Mississippi State on the road.
On the road, Mississippi State.
Mississippi State, on the road.
I think Mississippi State may have some better athletes, but the last 2 weeks they played Auburn and Alabama. Arkansas. Arkansas has played Auburn and Alabama. And I think they probably gained a little bit of confidence in those games.
Yes, I think they've given up 103 points or something like that.
Yeah, that would be a confidence boost, wouldn't it? All right, you talked me into it. I'm gonna go with you, Mississippi State.
Well, I was struggling because there was a radio commentator as we were traveling between ball games tonight said Mississippi State's one of the worst coached teams in the SEC. So I don't know.
All right,
Flip a coin.
Well, let's go to the next one. Auburn is going to host Ole Miss.
That won't even be a contest. Quarterback just can't get a quarterback hurt. Okay, Bo Nix got to stay healthy, and I don't even think it'll be a contest.
Ole Miss offense has been rather. Now, Auburn wins with defense this year, but Ole Miss offense has been rather productive. So, I'm going with Auburn too.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if it's going to be as big as what you're saying. Though.
I'm looking at Auburn putting 50 on.
All right, really, the big one in the SEC this week is Florida and Georgia in Jacksonville.
Ooh, what do they call that? The largest outdoor cocktail party or something like that?
I don't know.
I don't matter. Two teams playing ball. I'm going to go with Georgia. And just because of the quarterback situation, and I think Georgia has yet to put together their best game of the year.
Georgia has more than one running back, and they do have a seasoned quarterback who has been very successful. I think Georgia's going to handle them. They think Florida's defense is pretty good, but I think Georgia's going to handle them.
I think Georgia by 10 points or more.
Okay. Then we have South Carolina is going to play host to Vanderbilt.
Woo! I'm going to go with the Gamecocks of South Carolina. Of course, every time I pick Vandy, they let me down, and every time I pick against Vandy, they let me down. But I'm going with South Carolina.
I'm going South Carolina myself. Tennessee in Knoxville against UAB.
I tell you, UAB, of course, they're not as good as they were last year, but they're 6-1. Of course, the SEC's the SEC. Tennessee, I think, is beginning to play.
They're playing better.
And I think they've kind of figured out who they are. I'm going to go with Tennessee over UAB.
I'm going to have to agree. And then we have the big possible upset. Texas A&M is going to play host to University of Texas at San Antonio.
That could be an upset because the University of Texas San Antonio, wasn't they in the FCS playoffs here a few years in a row or something like that?
Maybe so.
I don't know.
I don't think they have a prayer.
I don't think so either.
So I'm going with Texas A&M in that
go with
one.
Aggies. Aggies win it.
Okay, so that covers the SEC. Covers.
But we're not going to be here next week to pick the big game, so we might as well pick it now.
Might as well pick it now.
Pick it now.
I'm picking Alabama.
I don't
Alabama, even know where they're playing.
And I'm picking Alabama to score 30 or more.
Yeah, they better or they won't win.
I know, because they'll have to give up 30.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, I'm going to Alabama. I'm a true Bama fan, but I still think that LSU's a little bit overrated. Hey, they're rated number one.
They're rated number one.
Yeah, they're overrated. All right. Okay. Good to have had a great year. Go support these area teams in the playoffs next week, next Friday night. And
get your cup of hot cocoa, take a blanket, take the kids with you. Everybody's underneath the blanket because too cold to be out running around and enjoy a ball game.
And maybe they'll be around for the next week. But anyway, thanks for being with us. Please go by and tell our sponsors that you appreciate them providing what it takes for us to be on the air. And maybe they'll do it again next year. All right. Thank you. Good night. Have a good year. God bless you.